Stupid.
Welcome to the Just Stupid Podcast. It's your boy Lucky, that's spelled Luquee, not Lucky. Now it's time to get into some things. First things first, I just want to thank any and everybody for liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel. And I know it's been going for a while, but this has been giving me time to get stories together, get stuff straight, and make sure I have something to actually come on here and talk to you guys about. And so I just want to make sure everyone gets in the comments and likes and subscribes and shares, shout outs, all that type of stuff. So first things first, I just want to ask this question. And I have my notes here so I can keep track of what I'm talking about. So my first question for you guys is, do you ever feel like life and just be lifing more than usual? Because lately, and this could relate to literally everybody, because everybody is going through something and everybody's going to go through something. But it's just like now life has been put on times 10 as I would like to look at it. Some people just go through it flawlessly, and other people just have it to where they can just, some people just can wake up in the morning and just go on about their merry little day. And then you have other people that got to wake up. They got to think about it. They got to contemplate. They got to go through their ritual. They got to do their, their routines. They got to get up and go to work and all that type of stuff. And me, I'm the second one. So what I want to come to you guys about with that is, when life is really lifing, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, what we about to do? What's going to happen? Because there's a lot of people that feels like, that they're stuck, or that they're just in a situation, or some sort of hard times where they just feel like that they just can't get out of, But you have to realize that once you make that decision to be like, okay, what are we going to do? Now we're going to put this on paper. You can put it on paper. You can write it down. You could just, some people just have photographic memory or whatever. But it's like you have to keep yourself in a steady mode, because it can be like, okay, because stuff does not go as planned at all, as everyone knows. Like, you can plan your entire day out. You can have bullet points. You can have PowerPoints. You can have all types of things. You can have, you can have lists and everything. You can have it planned out to the smallest little bitty thing. And the wrong gust of wind, or just that one little fly, will pass by, and it just mess up the entire day, or the entire mood, or the entire way that you move throughout the day. But what I'm trying to get at is the fact that when life comes, you have to learn how to deal with it. So, for instance, like me, my job, I work in retail, dealing with customers all day. So we're not going to name the job, but I deal with customers all day, and I'm also a part of management. So it comes to a point where you have to be like, okay, how would I go about a certain situation with me not putting, I wouldn't say a burden, but me not making it go left, basically. So, let's say for example, we have a lot of people that come in, upset about if we don't have a certain product, or if we're sold out of something, or something just doesn't go their way, or and comes to a point where I'm like, see me, I'm a shift lead, right? So I would be the first point of management that someone calls for to say, to get an opinion on something, or if someone has questions, because it's basically kind of like a chain of events. So if you, so there's somebody that has a question about something, and I'm going to be the first responder, basically. So I would have to choose how I would go about that, you know? So that's basically how life really is. Because everything is literally a choice, honestly. Because you can go out to Walmart or go to the gas station, and it could be, your day could be going by perfectly. It could be that one little instance or that one person that flips it all the way upside down. And so when I say it's a choice, it's how you react to things. So also, because there's a lot of people that that comes around, in your life that have egos, or higher higher perception of things. I wouldn't say ego and higher perception would be the same thing, but you get what I'm saying. So when I say it's a choice, it all depends on how you would see yourself handling a certain situation with someone else or something. That's why you have to always come off. I know it's hard for being the bigger person, but it's very beneficial to be the bigger person, because when you're the bigger person in a situation, your mind is straight, your head is straight, your conscience is straight. Yes, you have the, how you had the in the cartoons and TV shows, we had the devil on one side and the angel on the other side, telling you this side telling you to do the bad part, this side telling you to do the good side, do the good thing. And but when you being a bigger person and going through things in the right steps, it makes things go a lot smoother for you, not necessarily for another person. You get what I'm saying? So if you put yourself in a situation where you're dealing with someone that has a huge ego, or an arrogant type of person, it's basically like it's eating them alive, basically, because you're not breaking. Because some people have an attitude on the back burner that they hide from the outside world, and they hide from society, but they learn to keep that on the back burner, learn to keep that in the back, because they know how they are. So, and all that is going to happen is it's going to be that one person, it's going to be somebody that's going to try to, pull it out of you. But as long as you keep yourself intact, keep your mind intact, and keep that attitude on the back burner, and don't, because that's basically what they want. They want something. They want to bring something out of you. They want to bring the bad part out of you so you can play the victim. And so, and now it comes to my next question is, have you been yourself lately? Because a lot of people don't talk about it. And I would say mostly men too. Mostly. Because for men, it's harder to talk about feelings. We're getting better as a society and getting better in the world to be able to, come and talk. But it's still not there yet where we can have that comfortability to be able to just come find someone and talk, And I'm not just saying men, period, But I'm just saying men mostly. You know what I'm saying? So if you, cause it's hard for a man to express himself without making it seem like his masculinity is being diminished, or his masculinity or his manhood is being thrown out of him because he's expressing himself. Because there's a lot of men out here that the anger that they have, it would not work out for them. It would not work out for either party. So you have certain situations where, let's say a man and a woman is arguing, right? And obviously, men are not supposed to hit women or whatever. I don't condone that either way. Men and women, nobody's supposed to hit anybody anyway. Let's say if you're in a relationship, nobody's supposed to hit anybody anyway. Anyway, period. But let's say you're a man and a woman in a relationship, and the woman in the relationship is, constantly antagonizing you and insulting you, making you insecure about yourself, self-esteem. That piles up a lot. But when it gets to a point where a woman puts their hands on a man, and in the back of the man's head, it's like, oh, this is a woman. I can't touch her. I can't put my hands on her. I can't, you get what I'm saying? So with men, it's like you have to keep your cool, because your mind can go off the rocker like that, and like literally physically, it will not end well. You get what I'm saying? So when I say how have you been lately, and just see I'm reading off my book. How have you been lately? And when life is lifing, there's going to be all types of things where people have to go through to be like, to calm down and keep it on the back burner. And I was just bringing that type of scenario up as, something physical in your face, between two people. But then you have moments of where life in general is antagonizing you, is bringing down your self-esteem, is bringing down your insecurity. Life will do that. But you just have to know how to get through life, just how you would have to know how to get through that type of, toxic relationship, as I had brought up. So basically, what I'm saying is get help. It doesn't hurt to get help. And I'm saying this because I'm one that doesn't like to ask for help. I'm the one that likes to figure stuff out on my own, and then help would be like the absolute last resort. So, like, let's say, you have to get up. You got to go to work. You got bills to pay. You got to pay rent. You got to pay light bill. You got to pay your car note. You got to pay insurance. You got stuff to you got stuff you got to do. You got stuff you got to get done. You can't just be wasting your life on, it's not really wasting, but you can't keep be like, okay, so when people say you go chasing your dreams, right? Yes, chase your dreams, but you also have to realize what you have to do on the backside of it. You still have stuff that has to be done. You still have bills that have to be, bills are not going to stop coming. So okay, if somebody says you need to chase your dreams, 9 times out of 10, those same people that's telling you to chase your dreams are the same ones that don't chase their own. So, like me, I'm trying to work on, getting and doing phlebotomy and all that type of stuff, going to school and stuff. But at the same time, I have to realize I still got stuff I gotta do too. I still got stuff I gotta pay. I still got stuff I gotta live off of. I still gotta have food in here. I still gotta have gas to get to work. I still gotta have my car so I can be able to get to work. And I still gotta have a place to live, Stuff costs. And people really don't understand that. Like, they could just be like, you need to go there and do it. Just go do it. Just go jump out and do it. You can't just go jump out and do something. Cause that's not how life works. That's just reality. It's not how that works. You can't just, yes, chasing your dreams is hard work. It absolutely is, because you still have stuff that you have to worry about on the back end that you have to get done. Stuff still have to be paid. Bills are not going to stop coming. So, and also with that, so let's say, like, for instance, I have a new best friend, I will say, and she's also my coworker, and she is amazing with makeup. Amazing. She does the stage makeup. That girl can put some makeup on. She is amazing. But I tell her too, and I'm one of them that likes to push people to do, what makes them happy, and to pull out their talents. Because if you know me, I draw, I paint, I do the podcast, I make content, and I be trying to find avenues for me to do my stuff. So I like to push people to bring their dreams up to the front line and bring their dreams up to be able for them to start chasing their dreams. But I also realize that there's stuff that still has to be done. Bills still have to be paid. Things are still going to come no matter what. Bills are not going to stop. And at the end of the day, like, you have your people that you have your little clique. You have your people that that will go to the ends of the earth for you. That'll give their t-shirt off their back for you. But at the end of the day, you're really still out here by yourself. Nobody's going to go to work for you. Nobody's going to pay your rent for you. You have to do what is obligated to you. And that also goes with keeping your mind calm and keeping your mind collected. And also making sure that your heart is into what you want to do. So when I tell her, she really needs to start posting and start making these videos on a regular. And I'm going to keep pushing her to do that too. But at the same time, I also have to keep pushing on to what, and that also motivates me for me telling her that she need to push and keep on doing what she's doing so she can chase her dreams. I also need to do that too. Cause I can't be out here telling someone to do something if I'm not practicing what I preach, if that makes sense. So when you get to this point where you have people with these egos and be like, I'm better than everybody and all that type of stuff, or blah, 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 and they're living the same life you live, or probably even lower, because it was put in their head. And I'm not saying like from parents or anything. That can literally come from anything. Trauma comes from anything. And I hate when people say that, oh, you're like me, I'm 24. There's a lot of older people that be like, oh, you're just a baby. You don't know. You ain't been through life yet, blah, 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 blah. You don't know. You don't know what it's like to be an adult and all that type of stuff. You ain't been through nothing. First of all, you don't know what I've been through. Okay? You don't know what I got to do. I pay my rent. I pay my light bill. You get what I'm saying? So I know what it's like to live. I have my own stuff. I have my place where I get off of work and go lay my head down peacefully every night and every day. And so I hate when older people, come up to younger ones and be like, you haven't been through nothing. You don't know what type of trauma someone has been through to be able to say that they've never been through anything or they don't know anything about life. There's kids out here that didn't have their parents in their life and they had to step up as little kids in a role of a parent because they didn't have parents in their life, or they didn't have that adult figure, that parent figure in their life to help. They had to step up for themselves, and some people do that from a very, very young age. So you can't judge anybody on how they come up. You can't say that someone doesn't know what they're talking about, or someone doesn't know life, or someone is just a baby, or because if that's the case, if I'm a baby, I will thank you. I would be a baby with his own place and his own car and a job, So you can't. So that's why that's the egos. It's like, and also let's say in a relationship, right? You have not even in a relationship. It could be, I would say, relationship as relationship or friendships or the friend groups you have, or even family members. You have standards, but people like to switch an ego with high standards. They like to make that the same thing. For me, no. Me having standards for something means I have boundaries. Okay? So we're moving into another subject now. So for me, having standards in my life and having boundaries, people will try to classify that or victimize that as an ego. That's not an ego. That's me bringing peace into my life because I'm not about to settle for less because you're not here to give me in my life. It doesn't matter if you're a parent, sibling, boyfriend or girlfriend, wife or husband, or just a regular friend. If you're not giving me the peace that I want or that I need in my life for me to keep my head sane and keep myself in check, you gotta go. So standards and egos are two completely different things. They're not this, okay? They're not this. So when you have standards for something, that's something that makes you happy. That's something that keeps your heart pumping and brings your heart to. Because as I would say, I would say with this. Because me, I'm not the type of person where if I'm in a relationship or I have a friendship, you cannot threaten me by walking out of the door. Because I'm the one, I will help you pack. I will help you. I will open the door for you to go. You get what I'm saying? So my standard, if you're not meeting my standard, you cannot be in my circle. And if you're not, if you're also trying to learn my standards and also trying to work towards my standard, you get what I'm saying? Then there is potential for that. But if you go ahead lowering your standards, people are going to walk all over you any chance they get. So that's why you also always have to stick up for yourself. And you don't always have to talk junk or always have to cuss or any of that to stand up for yourself. You can say enough is enough. And that's it. That's why when I said earlier about how life be lifing, and you have those people that just want to bring stuff out of you and pull something out of you that they want to pull out of you, but you know not to do it because you know how that outcome would be. You can say enough is enough without having to argue or without having to cuss. You can put your foot down and have standards for that. So, and it doesn't matter. It's family. It doesn't matter with me. Family, friend. It doesn't matter. Because you can easily get cut off as fast as you came in my life. Probably even faster when it comes to me. Because if I feel like I'm being disrespected in either way and you're not trying to fix it, then that means you just don't care about me or my well-being. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to care about me and myself regardless. You get what I'm saying? And as should all of you guys care about you and yourself regardless. It doesn't matter what anybody else got to think. So when somebody comes and ruins your peace and your space, they gotta bounce. You get what I'm saying? So, like, let's say for instance, you go to the family function, right? Go to the family union. Everybody in there, you're here, you're in there too, and then you got that one family member that come up in there, and the whole energy, the whole vibe just shifts. Gotta go. I'll remove myself. Because that entire time that they are there in your space and in your peace, they're taking over you. You're not able to enjoy yourself with being in that space while that person is there. If that makes sense. So if you keep your standards to where at a higher level, just say if you have standards, multiply it by 10. Keep your standards. So when somebody says, "What are you bringing to the table?" You're bringing yourself to the table. You either deal with me, or you're not dealing with me at all. And yeah, there are some instances where you have to compromise with some things, but sometimes compromising is a form of, what's the word? Manipulation. Because that means that you're going to have to compromise to their standard. And theirs is completely lower than yours. And yours is up here times 10. Theirs is down there on the bottom, on the floor. And you have to some way, somehow meet them in the middle. No. If you're not trying to work, I'll say for me having standards and me having my boundaries of how I like to run stuff and how I like my life to be should not be dictated by someone else. Should not be dictated by someone else's standard. So if you can meet me at that standard, then it's not going to work. Friendship, family, relationship, it does not matter. If you cannot get up there with me, it's not going to work. So, and that's why I say it's easy when someone has a really good heart, they only see the good in someone. They'll put all of their flaws, all of their red flags behind them. They don't even look at that. So when someone starts showing their red flags, that's why I had to learn. You have to really get to know someone before. You get what I'm saying? Because once they surely show them their true selves, believe them. Because you cannot change anybody. No one can change anybody. Okay? That's me like saying, okay, you should try to eat chips. You don't even like these chips. But I'm like, you should try these chips. It's their choice to eat the chips. You're just giving a suggestion. You should try these chips. Okay? So, you should try doing this for me. Or, we should try doing such and such together. Or, we should try talking things out. Or, we should try doing this. We need to do this. This is a suggestion. It's up to the other person to be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, or nah, I ain't about to do this. So if they're not trying to meet that, then that's a cutoff, because it's not hard. That's why I say, and like, I hate when people go off of like using the excuse of zodiac signs and all that type of stuff and or whatever. At the end of the day, we're all grown. We all know exactly what we're doing. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing. Fuck a sign. Okay? Like, yes, all signs have certain traits. They do. I'm a Taurus. Yes, I'm stubborn. And I stand by that. I'm very stubborn. I also have high standards, but at the end of the day, I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing. Just like the next person. It doesn't matter if you're a Gemini, Pisces, whatever. You know what you're doing. So that whole zodiac thing does not matter to me. All of them, like I said, all of them have traits. We're all grown. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing. You know what right and wrong is. You know which one to go to and know which one not to do. Like, this is common sense. But common sense is not common in today's world. It's really not. Because people can think, oh, I got a degree and all this type of stuff. You know, I went to grad school and all this type of stuff. I got a bachelor's, blah, blah, blah. I graduated from college. And what? Okay, and that doesn't mean the common sense is there. You got the book sense. Congratulations. But common sense isn't there. And if you can't think in common sense, that's the book sense isn't really gonna help, because then all you're gonna do is just be used. That's how I would see. So if you have I would say if you have a quick mind, clever mind, and can think with common sense, you don't always have to look at the logics of things. You look at the reality of things also. You get what I'm saying? The reality, the logic, and you're looking at the dream that comes with it. You get what I'm saying? You look at the potential that's going on that would happen. You look at right now. You look at the past. You see what's going on. You piece everything together. So that's why you shouldn't put something as in a category. Okay, or Geminis are like this. That's why they're doing this. That's just an excuse. Or you're this sign, so that's why you act like this. So I'm just going to let that slide. No. Just because you're a certain sign, I should let you slide with something? That doesn't even make sense. Like, that doesn't even click in my brain. So you get up in the morning, it's your choice to brush your teeth or not. Common sense. Brush your teeth. You have the choice. I would hope you brush your teeth, but you know what you're doing. If you don't brush your teeth, you know what you're doing. You're grown. You know exactly what you're doing. You're not a kid. You're not a toddler. You don't have someone here that has to tell you all the time to do something. And if that's the case, you got some serious working on that you need to be doing with yourself, because that is not cool. That means somebody has to always teach you and always hold your hand for something when you know what you got to do. You know what you have to get done. If somebody has to constantly tell you to get up so you can go to work, that's an automatic like, no. Because that means you can't do anything for yourself. You always have to be dependent on someone else. And me, I'm gonna talk junk all damn day. I'm gonna go to work, talk junk all damn day. But I'm going to work. I don't like living with nobody. I don't like people doing stuff for me because I don't like people holding that over my head. Oh, you remember I did this for you? Or you remember when you asked me to do this, blah, 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 blah? I hate that. So I'm going to get up and go to work. I'm going to talk junk, but I'm going to work. Best believe that. You ain't got to tell me. So when it comes, that's why I say you got to keep your standards. Your standards have to be high. Because the moment you start lowering your standards, that's when people start using it to the fullest advantage that they possibly can and they could possibly find. And it's sad that people will actually do that to other people, knowing that if somebody did it to them, they would hate it. So, and it's really sad how this society is when it comes to that type of stuff. Because like I said, we're all grown. You know what you're doing. So that means you're looking at me, right? Say for instance, the person that I'm talking about has an ego. Or you're looking at me and you choose to not say anything. Like let's say, for instance, it really pisses me off. Because let's say for instance, here we go. For an example, I'm at work, right? People come in. First thing I do if somebody comes in, hello, welcome to where I work. I'm not going to give a name. But hello, welcome. Welcome in. And they just walk straight past. And it's a level of respect, And that's why I'm very big on respect. Because if you don't give it, you can't get it. And it doesn't matter if you're an elder. Fuck elders. If you're being disrespectful to me, you really expect me to keep being respectful to you, or keep showing you respect, or keep making it seem like you deserve respect just because you're older? That's not how that works. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all in this world by ourselves. We all, in our minds, in everybody's mind, we're all on this earth by ourselves. We come into this world alone. We leave this world alone. So respect is not hard. Respect is literally a choice. Respect is a choice. So if I'm sitting here saying, hello, welcome in, you could at least just say, hi, hello, or how are you? You get what I'm saying? It's not hard to do. And it's crazy that more kids understand that better than the adults. And I've realized a lot. These kids these days understand more things than adults do. And it's very... That's not even... That is not how that's supposed to go. So like let's say, like, for age differences, right? And it's also... It can also be dependent on how you're raised, but it's also just knowing how things go, Me, I'm 24. My cousin, my very close cousin, is 40. Me and her click, our brains are like this. Like me and her had the same thought process. 2 different decades. She's been on this earth way before me. That's a whole 20-year difference. Just about. We're just going to round it up. That's a whole 20-year difference. And she grew up a certain way. And I grew up a certain way. But our minds connect with each other. Because like she can sit here and tell me something. She can ask me something. and I would give my honest opinion. No. She could say if something, if she could ask if something looks good on her. If it looks good, absolutely. If it doesn't, no. Because we can do that with each other and not have an argument or not always have a disagreement about something, or have a debate about something. It's just a level of respect. Because, okay, when you have these older people, grandpas, grandmas, all these older people, and they come and it be the ones that like to come demanding respect from someone or demanding like, okay, you bow down to me because I'm an elder. I'm at a higher tier than you. I was here longer than you were. So, but at the end of the day, you can't sit here and talk junk to me or talk shit to me and expect me to be like, yes, sir, I got you. Yes, I bow down to you. I'm on my knees for you. I'm not doing that. No. My mother raised me well. I'm going to tell you that right now. All day, every day. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. And it's crazy that, like, especially at work, when I'm saying that to a lot of people, and it's like they've never heard of yes, sir, and no, ma'am, and all that. They never heard of that before. Like, they be confused of what manners are, And my mother did a great job of me. She she raised me how I'm supposed to be right now. She raised me to the point where I can be by myself and not depend on nobody else, but also have manners and respect. She told me what respect is, and so it doesn't make sense to me how someone can just come and disrespect you but you still have to respect them. That's not how that works. That was them days is over, honey. Okay, them days is over. Cause you're not going to sit here and talk junk to me and think I'm just about to praise you. That's not how that work. See, but yeah, but that brings me back to how have you been lately? Because that type of stuff bottles up in people, and people don't know how to deal with it, and people don't know what to think. People don't know how to process, and people will shut themselves down to a point where, because depression is definitely real. Like, people don't understand that. People think that's just an attention thing. Like, suicide is real. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. That is a real thing. And some people just like to either use it as an excuse or use it for attention and those type of circumstances. That is real. There's people that's out here right now that wants to themselves, and because they don't feel like they're supposed to be here, or they feel like they just don't fit in, or they're not supposed to be in society. But let me say this to y'all, because at one point I was one of them. Let me say this to y'all, because I have the proof. Yes, I used to cut myself, and I had to learn how to, and I have the proof here on my arm, right here. I just want to say to y'all, you're not supposed to fit in. You're not supposed to reach everybody else's standards, as I said before. You're not supposed to be a part of society, okay? You're here for you. You're not here for anybody else. You came into this world by yourself. You're here for yourself. You're not here for nobody else. You did not ask to be here. So what I say for that, make your life to where you want it to be. Live your life how you want to live it. And like it's hard for a lot of people to go through that, like with DL men, for example, right? And most of them, I understand them. I understand why they're DL. I get it. This world is a harsh world, especially for a man to be in love with another man and they can't publicly do that and be happy. They have to remain in a closet or in a box so nobody would judge them. But me, as an openly gay man and black at that, live your life. It's going to get to a point where that light just switches on, where that light switch just flip up. It's going to get to a point where you just had enough. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be fuck what other people think. Because they ain't got nothing to do with you. You know? Everybody has something going on in their life. Everybody. I don't care who you are. Everybody has something going on in their life. I don't care about what the next person has going on. I gotta do me. I gotta worry about me. Okay? I gotta make me happy. Okay? I'm going to sleep happy. I'm going to sleep peacefully. I'm not about to be sitting here worried about nobody else. No. I got my own things I gotta worry about. So it's like, with like, again, like with DL men, I understand why they're DL. I really do. And because so many people go straight to judging and straight to bashing and straight to exiling and and looking at them in a completely different light. At the end of the day, I'm the same person that I was before. I just like the same gender. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. So that's why I would say keep your head up and your heart strong, because that's the only thing that would be able to keep your mind calm, keep your mind down, keep your mind collected, because your heart is going to tell you what to do regardless. And it's going to irk the inside of you. It's going to irk your nerves, because your heart is going to keep pumping. No matter how many times you try to run away from your heart going to keep pumping. Your heart going to keep telling you what to do. You just have to listen to it. Because it's going to keep pumping. It's like that child that constantly wants some candy, or that constantly wants something. Mom, mommy, daddy, mommy, daddy. I want this, I want that, I want this. Just keep tapping, you just working on it. That's what your heart is. It's like a child that wants something very, very bad. That child see that toy up there. That child see that Transformer toy up there. He want it. He see that Mocha Control car up there. He want that. Mommy, I want it. I want that. That's what your heart is going to do. Your heart is going to be like, I want that. I need that. I want that to be happy. I need that to be happy. So as long as if you keep your mind and your heart connected with each other, it's going to work out eventually. I'm going to say eventually because I can't speak for everybody else on their timing and their terms. But everyone will come to a conclusion, come to a a point in their life where they'll be like, you know what? All right, I'm done. You know, I'm done thinking about everybody else. I'm done thinking about what other people think of me, because it does not matter what other people have to say about what I got going on when they have nothing to contribute to me. So that's why I say I understand. And I also like to, when somebody has something going on in their life, cuz you can tell when somebody needs a talk. You can tell when someone needs a hug. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. Anybody that knows me knows I do not like people. I don't like humans. I just like to stay to myself. I don't like going out to clubs. I don't like big crowds. I'm me being by myself. I am perfectly fine. I am at peace when I am by myself. But you can tell there is an energy shift. You can tell when someone needs help. You can tell when someone needs a hug. You can tell when someone is happy. You can tell when someone needs to talk to somebody about something. So, and that's another thing I want to get into, because I never understood why the voice of kids isn't heard. Like, today compared to about like 20 years ago, people just like to hide stuff, especially like parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles. They like to hide things and not tell the future what is going on. So when something happens to the child's future, when they grow up, and the parent or aunt or uncles and grandparents knew about it, or knew about their trait, or knew about this person, and something happens to them, and they knew what would happen, they knew a potential, and they didn't say anything about it to prevent it. That's what doesn't sit right with me. Especially with men, with the boys growing up the way that they grow up, not being able to talk to people about stuff, not being able to talk or tell people about anything, because the older generation has been like, what stays in this house, what said in this house stays in this house, or whatever, and blah blah blah. You don't tell nobody. You keep this on the back burner. You saving this person. We saving this person. Whatever. If there's a family member that's how do I put this in a YouTube way, or in a podcast way? You know what I'm talking about. You're not slow. If you got one of them family members and you have future kids coming into the family, and they're growing up around this person, and you know how this person is, and you know what this person is doing, and you don't say anything to the kids or to the future of that family, and something happens to them, I blame all of them. All them older people that like to hide stuff. It's not just the one that does it to the kids, It's not just that one. It's y'all too. Because y'all know how the person is. Y'all know what the person does. But y'all like to hide these types of things. But now we get in, and that's another thing. We get into this part into this generation, where this older generation does not understand, because this newer generation is too strict. Literally, this generation does not keep their tongue in their mouth. Literally, because somebody tells them something or asks them to do something, it's straight no or straight yes. Like, and the older generation doesn't know how to handle the fact that this newer generation is way more blunt and way more outspoken than the older generation, because we got to a point where enough is enough. Because if you're a person in the family or anywhere that knows stuff about this, and you don't tell me, and something happens, and you know something is could happen, but could potentially happen, and you know it, I don't respect you, because that means you don't love me. You're not protecting me, and that means you have to go. And that brings it back to the standards. You're not there to protect me. You're not there to love me. You're not there to make my peace of mind peaceful. You have to go. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care who you are. If you're not here for me, then I'm not going to be there for you. You got to go. My standard is set high for a reason. Okay? I keep my standards high. You would never be able to use me. And that's how I feel for me in general. And that's how I feel that everyone needs to be. And by the time, you get older, get your own place, and get all, and you get your stuff established and get your stuff situated, you're not about to sit here and let somebody ruin that. I've been through that. I let somebody ruin that for me. Never again. I let somebody ruin it for me, because I lowered my standard for them. Never again. Now that I went through that, my standard is 10 times higher. And I hate when people are like, material things can be replaced and blah blah blah. Okay, great. Yeah, it can be replaced, but at the same time, I worked for it. It doesn't matter if it's material or not. I worked for it. I worked hard for what I got. I worked hard for what I get. I get up and go to work every day. So for someone that didn't contribute to me getting what I want in my life, just comes by and snatches it that quick and make you lose it that quick, that's a problem to me. So even if it is material, yes, material things can be replaced, but at the same time, you worked hard for it, get it. You worked hard for it, protect it. You work hard for what you do and work hard for what you get. Don't let nobody take it from you. Because you're the only one that's doing it for you. Like I said, you're the only one that's paying your bill. You're the only one that's going to pay your rent. You're the only one that's going to pay for your car. You're the only one that's going to pay for your gas to get to work every day. You're the only one that's going to get up and go to work. You're the only one that's going to work hard for what you got. So you working hard for what you got, protect what you got. So I don't care what anybody say if somebody snatches my, somebody steal my phone or something, I'm gonna be mad. Or somebody come bust the windows out of my car or something. Yes, I'm gonna be mad. I don't care if it's material items. Yes, I'm gonna be mad because I worked for it. I got up every day and went to work to get it. So yes, I'm gonna be mad. Like I just don't understand why people Why people are so, like, their souls are so low to just let people just do whatever. I could never. No. No. I ain't that. I done been past that point. I went through it. That's why I'm saying it. That's why I'm saying it. I went through it. So that's why I'm telling you. Because I know. I went through it. I had all of my stuff snatched away from me. Just like that. That quick. My one person. And I worked hard for what I had. So now I'm like, for me, I'm just at the point where, fuck it. You're not here for me, and you gotta go. I've gotten to the point where it's, cause I've learned it ain't gonna work. You gotta go. You gotta go. You have to keep your peace of mind. You have to keep your mind sane. Okay? You have to keep your mind collected. You have to keep your heart level. Cause stress, ain't nobody trying to be stressing over nobody else. I got too much stuff to worry about to be stressing over a whole nother human. Cause they got their own things they gotta worry about. Cause at the end of the day, something happens to me, their life still gonna be going. They still gonna be going. Me, I'm gonna be the one that'll be sitting here looking stupid. Because I'm over here worrying about somebody else that damn sure ain't worrying about me. So that you just gotta keep that close. Like, you have to keep that. Keep your mind sane. Keep your mind collected. Keep your mind calm. Because it is real. Depression is real. Anxiety is real. People go through stuff. It doesn't matter the age. People go through it. Trauma is real. People go through it. Talk to people. If somebody is coming to you, generally coming to you and looking for comfort, talk to that person. Because you don't know what anybody has going on. And I'm saying this because I went through it. I'm saying it because I've done it. And so I'm putting my experience out there. I'm saying what I have been through. I'm not just doing this, just to make a video, or just to have something to talk about. I'm saying this because I've been through it. So I know it's obviously outcomes are different for everybody else. I'm coming from me. So hopefully someone could understand where I'm coming from. I'm trying to be relatable as possible because it can go for many different situations. That's why I'm not saying the specifics of the situation that I've been through. But all you would have to know is everybody goes through something. Nobody is perfect. Absolutely nobody. And you can't change anybody. You can't make anybody a certain way. Because you wouldn't want nobody to do it to you. I know ain't nobody gonna change me or how I am. So you can't change anybody else. That's not how that world works. That's not how life works. That's why I say life be lifing. Because at the end of the day, you're here for you and you only. But I just wanted to make sure I came up here and got another episode on, and also share my thoughts on what I've been thinking. Cause I did say a lot, and it all ties in to how have you been yourself lately. Find that moment where you can find someone to talk to. Find that person that you can talk to. Find something. You don't even have to talk to somebody. Find something that will help you get your emotion out there. You get what I'm saying? Get your emotion out. Like, there's some people that like to go play sports to get their emotions out. I paint and draw to get my emotions. I also do archery to get my emotions out. You know, you get what I'm saying? There's different ways to cope with having thoughts and having these type of emotions. There's different ways to cope and get through them. You just have to find it, what makes you comfortable to bring you to that happy place. To bring your mind from here to bringing it down, calming down, and be collected, and keep your standards high, and just make sure you got yourself. Make sure you got you. Because only you going to have you at the end of the day. Okay? But I just wanted to say thank you for any and everybody that listens to this episode. This is episode 4. More episodes to come. And I just make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Do whatever you gotta do. Just do it, you know. Hopefully what I'm saying touches people. Hopefully the videos that I put out and the audios that I put out helps people to understand that life is gonna life regardless. I just want people to know that yes, there are people to talk to. There are people to come to, you know. But you also have to understand that you have to have faith, and you have to do the work at the same time. It's a lot of ends that meets. So it's a lot of intersections for that. So again, thank you everybody for listening. And I hope you have an amazing day. Peace.